Hi, my name is Georgina Halabi, and I'm a performance and wellbeing coach. And today I'd like to talk to you about self-talk. Let's start off with a little story. I want you to imagine somebody that you love, maybe your child, maybe someone close to you comes back from work or school or whatever, and they're visibly upset. And you say, come here. And as they approach you, you've got your arms outstretched and you punch them in the face, and then you kick them to the ground, and then you drop punch them and you shout at them, you're useless, you're worthless, you don't know anything, who are you? You'll never be anything, you stupid, stupid person. What's wrong with that story? Right? You would never talk to anybody else like that, right? But we talk to ourselves like this all the time. And what's worse, we actually believe ourselves. Would you take advice or take criticism from somebody who's awful to you, who's your worst enemy? No. So why do we believe our inner judge, our inner critic? So to understand self-talk, as its name implies, self-talk, it's two things. First of all, the talk is all about a voice in your head. It literally sounds like a voice in your head. That's your judge, your inner critic. And the self part is it's all about the ego. It's all about protecting the ego, right? So it comes from part of your brain, which is all about survival. It's always about keeping you small, keeping you accepted socially, right? All about maintaining your status, because essentially we're all primates. We need to be accepted by the monkey pack. If we stick out, or there's anything wrong with us, we get thrown out. That's rejection, that's death. So we have to survive. We have to maintain our status. So that fear part of our brain is all about the self. It's about maintaining status so that we can survive. We can remain socially accepted. But we don't have to live from that part of our brain. There is another part of our brain that starts developing when we're about 12 years old, doesn't stop until we're about 21, which pretty much explains teenagers to you. It's called the prefrontal cortex, and that's the space of your brain that is responsible for creativity, empathy, resourcefulness, perspective. And so the trick then becomes, how do we move from this part of the brain to this part of the brain at will, and in the moments when we would normally get triggered by our self-talk? So this is going to be the subject of our mental fitness discussion, details below. But for now, what I want to do is leave you with a tip, a quick and easy tip that you can apply straight away with your self-talk. Okay, so this is all based around awareness. The first thing to do is become aware of your self-talk. And then the next is just notice it. That's all you need to do without doing these three things. So don't resist it. Don't suppress it, because what you resist, of course, persists. The second thing is don't indulge it. It's going to start telling you the ego story, okay? Don't indulge that ego story at all. Don't indulge the self-talk. Just notice it, okay? And then the next one is don't fix it, because, of course, when you try and fix it, you get sucked into the narrative as well. So what you're trying to do is just create awareness around the dialogue, the narrative in your head, and do so with curiosity. Allow your body and your mind to integrate it however it knows best. Just watch it. And when you watch it, when you're not getting sucked into the self-talk, it creates a really, really powerful space where you can look at it objectively, often for the first time ever. And you can say, interesting. Is this constructive, in which case I want to bolster it? Or is it destructive, in which case I want to change it? And when we create the space around changing it, we're actually rewiring our brain from going through the normal route of thought, emotional response, behavior that creates the outcome that we don't want, to interesting thought, noticing the emotional response, not getting sucked in, creating the space and doing something different. So you start to actively rewire your brain, rewire your programs, and disempower your inner critic and your self-talk. I hope this helps.